So in this video we'll deal with asymptotic notations. Previous video lo manam what is time complexity, what is space complexity, and with the help of frequency and step count method time complexity ni space complexity ni ela find out cheyalo chusam. So in this particular concept we'll try to find it with the help of these three types: big O, big omega and big theta. So first of all, what is time complexity? The amount of time taken by an algorithm for its execution is called as time complexity. And what is space complexity? The amount of space taken by an algorithm for its execution is called as space complexity. So coming to asymptotic notations, there are three types. First type is big O notation, second one is big omega, and third one is big theta. In this particular video, we will be dealing only with big O notation. So what does this big O notation do? It works on functions with upper bounds. And this works on lower bound. And this theta works on average bound. Now here I have 1 is less than log n, less than root n, less than n, so on, n power n. This is a statement which I have. I'll tell you why we use this in the future. So see, now what is big O notation? Let's see what is the definition. Now, the function f of n is equal to big O of g of n if and only if there exists if and only if there exists positive constants C and n naught, then what will happen such that f of n is less than C into g of n for all n greater than or equal to n naught. So this is the definition. ఏంటంటే f of n is equal to order of g of n. This is the function. ఇది కనుక satisfy అవ్వాలంటే if and only if there exists positive constants. What are those positive constants? C and C naught. If there exists this C and C naught such that your f of n will be less than or equal to C into g of n for all n greater than or equal to n naught. ఈ పర్టికులర్ డెఫినేషన్ అర్థం కావాలంటే we need to deal with an example. So what is that example? F of n is equal to 5n plus 2. So this is the function I'm having. Now what I need to do is, now I am taking this 5n plus 2. Here, according to the condition, my f of n should be less than or equal to C into g of n. So 5n plus 2 less than or equal to C into g of n. ఇక్కడ ఏం పెట్టాలనేది నాకు తెలియదు. So what, I'll take some random number. You need to write only one expression. I mean one number you need to take. So I'll take here some 8n. If I'm taking 8n and I need to know whether this will be less than or equal to this particular one. But keep this point in mind. మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా C into g of n రాసేటప్పుడు this particular part should be greater than the given function. Then what will happen? I am substituting n is equal to 1 to check. Then what will happen here? 5 into 1 plus 2 is less than or equal to 8 into 1. 5 plus 2 is less than or equal to 8 and 7 is less than or equal to 8. The condition is satisfied. And how could I tell this one? Which means that 5n plus 2 is less than or equal to 8n for all n greater than or equal to 1. So this will be my final answer. But ఇక్కడ ఏం చేయాలంటే I need to define the big O notation. I need to define the time complexity. How will I tell? See, I have 5n plus 2 less than or equal to 8n. ఇది మీ f of n. This is your c and this part is your g of n. So f of n will be in the according to the condition, f of n is equal to order of g of n. So here f of n will be big O of g of n. So g of n place లో మనం ఏం సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తాం, n సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేస్తాం. So I'll get f of n is equal to order of n. For example, suppose you don't know what to write here, then there is a trick to follow that. You can write like this also. ఇక్కడ 5n plus 2 తీసుకొని లెస్ దాన్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్ టు మీరు ఇక్కడ ఏదో ఒకటి రాయాలి. అదేంటి రాయాలో మీకు తెలియదు. సో హౌ యూ విల్ రైట్ ఇట్? ఇక్కడ ఇచ్చిన ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ప్రతిదానికి ప్రతి టర్మ్కి ఎన్ని యాడ్ చేస్తారు అంటే 5కి ఆల్రెడీ n ఉంది. సో 5n ప్లస్ 2కి లేదు కాబట్టి 2n తీసుకుంటారు. ఇఫ్ యూ పుట్ n ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు 1, యూ విల్ గెట్ 5 into 1 plus 2 less than or equal to 2 into 1, which means 7 is less than or equal to 7. So condition is being satisfied. So here what will be the value of n, which means n is greater than or equal to n. It is satisfying for all n is greater than or equal to n. So the time complexity will be f of n is equal to big O of n. I hope this point is clear. I'll explain you with some other example now. So now నేను 5n plus 2ని 5n plus 2nకే కాకుండా I can even show that this is less than 5n square plus 2n square. Now if I take n is equal to 1, what will happen? 5 into 1 plus 2 less than or equal to 5 into 1 square plus 2 into 1 square, which means 7 is less than or equal to 7. Now here my n square is g of n and 5 and 2 are constants, which means my f of n will be big O of n square. You need to have this point in mind. What is that? If suppose నేను ఫస్ట్లో వీడియోలో I took a line and I told that I'll explain this in the future. See what is that is 1 less than log n less than root n less than n less than n log n less than n square less than n cube, so on 2 power n 3 power n so on n power n. So now this is your n value. ఇక్కడ నుండి till this n power n, this will be called as upper bound, which means your given function will satisfy big O notation for this values. Means for this particular expression I can tell that it satisfies n log n, it satisfies n square, n cube, 2 power n, 3 power n and so on n power n. So then how could I tell this? I can tell f of n equal to order of n cube. I can say f of n is equal to order of n. But while writing the final big O notation, you need to consider the nearest value. మీరు ఈ 2 కూడా రాయొచ్చు, ఇది కరెక్టే, కాకపోతే నియరెస్ట్ వాల్యూ రాస్తే మంచిది. సో యుల్ రైట్ f of n is equal to order of n. And now if suppose నేను ఈ వాల్యూస్ కాకుండా if I take this part, n కంటే తక్కువ ఉంది ఈ పార్ట్లో వాల్యూస్ తీసుకొని if I am trying to write f of n is equal to order of log n, then this is not acceptable. This will be wrong. Whereas you can take n log n square, n cube, so on 2 power n, 3 power n and n power n for your big O notation. And keep this point in mind that in big O notation, we need to write closest function. మీరు క్లోజెస్ట్ ఫంక్షనే కాకుండా వేరేదైనా రాయొచ్చు విచ్ సాటిస్ఫైస్, బట్ మోర్ ప్రిఫరబుల్ అండ్ సజెస్టబుల్ ఈజ్ యూ షుడ్ రైట్ దిస్ క్లోజెస్ట్ ఫంక్షన్. సో క్లోజెస్ట్ ఫంక్షన్ అంటే ఏంటి? ఎఫ్ ఆఫ్ ఎన్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఆర్డర్ ఆఫ్ ఎన్. దిస్ ఈజ్ హౌ you calculate big O notations time complexities. I hope this concept is clear for you. In the coming videos I will tell, after covering big omega and theta also, we'll deal with examples with the 3 asymptotic notations. Thank you for watching.